guess what I'm doing. And if you guess I am making a big mess on my living room floor, you're correct. And if you're also guessing that I'm wishing that I had ripped up this carpet and actually had the hardwood floors underneath refinished, you're correct there too. But right now I am dealing with old carpet from the 90s, and I don't care because I don't want to replace it because I want to refinish my floors at some point. So things are what they are. And that's kind of life, isn't it? You just kind of deal with it. So if you see some staining on my carpet, which I can see, um, just ignore it. It's been vacuumed. It's been carpet cleaned at some point, and it just is what it is. So, yeah. And I needed a big area to lay stuff out, so I laid it on the floor. And you might be wondering what I'm doing. I don't even know. I am looking at the fabric, trying to decide what to do. This is the biggest section that I could come up with. It's 3 flowers wide. Let me see if I can show you that. Yeah, because 1, 2, 3. This down here and this one have to go. So I still haven't removed those 3. I was going through and disassembling and stuff for hours. But I wanted to lay it out because I have to pre-wash fabric. So I was like, okay, I'm going to stop doing that. I'm going to look at what I want to do so I can pre-wash the fabric, because this quilt topper, remember I got it at a yard sale for $1, and it's vintage fabric, and I wanted to save it and do something with it, but I needed to pre-wash it because I don't trust people, and people have animals, and I'm allergic, and do you really want to bring something in your house that's been God knows where for years? Because this fabric is I'm pretty sure it's 60s and 70s fabric. So I just didn't want to have it in my house not clean. So anyway, it's been pre-washed. I disassembled some of these little grandma's garden flower hexagons. I have a few more here. Here, I'll show you. There's a thread. I don't care. Here's some more different colors. Some of them match ones that are in there. Some of them don't. Some of them actually have been repaired. I had to repair this one. I sewed a couple of squares in, not squares, hexagons, in of white, because the white had shredded on this one. Lots of repairs. There's this one, which matches one of the ones in there, I think. There's this one. There's this one. Oh, look at the little cute cowboys. Look at that. Isn't that cute fabric? Okay. And then there's this one. It's very bright. There's this one, more pastel-y. They're just a mix of random ones. I don't know if I want to use this one because it's honeycomb fabric, and it's the only one I think that's really textured. So I think I'm probably not going to use this one with the quilt, just because I don't like that texture. See? Textured. So I probably won't use that one. And then there's this one. And of course, I am a sucker for pink and blue. I am just a sucker for it. That's my weakness. I love all the pink quilts. And deciding what colors to go with on this were kind of hard because there were lots of colors. There's like pops of red, pops of blue. There's white. There's off-white. Um, you can see there's off-white down there. There's beige. So I did some beigey, thinking, do I want to do beige? I kind of like the beige and the white mix. Just saying. Um, but I think I'm going to go with different colors. I think what I'm going to do is a border of white around the big section and then do squares of green, but not that color. I don't like that aqua color. I like the other greens, but I don't like that one. And that's what I'm going to do. I'm going to have to pre-wash, make some squares. I'll probably put white in the middle of the squares, like border them. And then I will have a quilt that is twin size. I'm going to go for a twin size quilt. I don't have the measurements for a twin size quilt right now, but I will look that up. And all of this is going to have to be hand sewn. Because of course it will. You can't machine sew these things. So, because there's too many V's and Y's and whatnot. So, maybe I could. It'd be a pain. It would be a real pain. I'd have to go around the edges. Like a zigzag. I don't know. Maybe I will do that. Maybe I'll just zigzag it on. Maybe I'll cheat and not hand sew. But before I do, I would have to iron because I have not ironed yet either. And I have to remove those three right there. See? That pink, brown, and green check. So I have to pre-wash all the fabric. I have to make a border. And then I thought I would put squares on the sides. So it's going to be a quilt, not placemats. Because I said, hey, I could probably do placemats. And the reason that I had to do this is because somebody took this thing, this quilt topper, and again, I paid $1 for it, so, you know, just know that I paid $1. Where is that? Here's some. You could see, like, it was just shredding. Like, you shouldn't use this kind of fabric. It's not a woven. It's more of a, I don't know what it is, but it's not a cotton woven. Then there were other ones where it was just, like, you can see somebody cut that. Like, they just chopped it. And that was before I washed it. This one, it was just chopped. Like, they just went through and chopped. Some of them were shredding. This is a polyester type fabric, like a poly cotton. It's not a full cotton, and it shredded. This was a poly cotton, and it shredded. You can just see everywhere when it washed along the seams, it was just shredding and pulling out, as opposed to a cotton fabric, which kind of holds together like a cotton woven. This is all polyester. It's not like full 100% cotton. You can tell the difference when you touch it. And then there's ones that were like this. There were a bunch of ones that came out when I washed them like this. This was sewn, by the way. You could just see it ripped out wherever it was sewn. It just completely shredded. And you can see, maybe you can see. See how shiny it is? Do you see that shine? That's not cotton. That's like polyester or something. That's why it's like so shiny in the threads. Because you can see the cotton part. the cotton part is not. Wherever it's, you know, a little shreddy from being washed, it's not shiny. So, and this one, it was almost a full flower, but it got cut. And I don't have any of this teal to replace these little hexagons. I did look through anywhere I could and try and repair some. Some of the white ones over here were repaired by me. I took fabric and that was like kind of matching and repaired some of them. So, like, you can see it's like a slightly different color white. Maybe. Because I had the hexagons from other chopped up pieces. So, where is, oh, this one. Here is a small hole. I'm going to have to fix that and take it apart and fix it. I think I found a very close match. Here's this one. So I'm going to replace this one and this one, because why would I leave the blue weird like that? Anyway, whoever made this, just, they did not perfectly match things sometimes. And this blue is actually not exactly the same color. So it isn't, but I would rather just, it's close enough. And I'm not sure on camera if you can see that it's not exactly. And yes, I know it's got strings hanging out everywhere. That's because when I was seam ripping, I was not paying attention. I'm not really caring. But there's plenty of places where there's just issues. And I think this is the biggest issue, is the hole. Because I can't leave a hole. Why would I make a whole quilt and leave a hole? Can't do it. Can't do it. Anyway, that's where I'm at in this quilt topper. I'm going to have to pre-wash the white. And then some greens. So, I think I'm only going to go with 3 greens. I do have 4 greens that I kind of like that olive, that, and that dark green. But I don't, I think this one and this one are too close together. They're not the same color, but they are very close. And probably too close. So, I don't want to mess with that. I'd much rather have like distinctly green. And I think what I'm going to do is have, because this is going to be 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, maybe? I'm trying to figure out something like that, 7 wide. So I can probably do 5 or 6 on each side of the greens. You know, like little squares. Because if I do, that's some math I have to do. Did you know that when you sew, you have to do math? It sucks. And again, I might do more than that. I might, just to make it like look even and stuff, you know. Again, I have to figure out what size a twin quilt would be, and then figure out like my borders for the top and the bottom, and then figure out how many squares I want to do and how big I want them to be. If I want them to be exact or not exact. I can't do them exact. And what I mean by that is I can't do them without like I guess I could do them exact, but it would be a pain because I don't think they'd be square. And I did think, just so you guys are aware, I did think about taking these and cutting them into like 6-inch squares or 6.5-inch squares. I think it was 6.5. Let's go right there. Yeah, 6.5-inch squares, so that there would be enough seam allowance on the top and the bottom, and just cut them into squares, and using them as squares as opposed to using them in this hexagon pattern. But I don't know. Maybe I might still do that. I mean, I'm not opposed. I'm not opposed to it. But I do think it would, I don't know, here. This is what happens when you are, this is the process of when you're crazy and you're trying to figure out, well, does that look good or does it look bad? So if I did it like that, so you go kind of like that, and then like that, or maybe here. Maybe I could do it this way, and then that way, and then that way. So that's what it would look like if I made a square out of it, kind of. And I don't like that because it's got like lots of little, like tiny little pieces. I don't think it looks as good. But that's what it would look like if I made a square out of it. And then that's what it would look like if I just embroidered it on. I don't know, maybe I will make squares. This is one of those things where you're like trying to like throw things together and like look at them and be like, well, do I like that? Don't I like that? I shouldn't take you guys along in this process of like brainstorming. But I am, because I think that's kind of important. Like, sure, it might take you, 20 hours to sew it, but you're sitting there for 40 hours thinking about it and like laying things out and planning it. And this planning stage usually takes up just as much time and effort. Just throwing that out there. Like some people, they can just like make it and you're sitting there watching it and you're like, wow, they did that really fast. No. They spent lots of time thinking about it. Don't let them fool you. Either that or I'm just not like a mental giant that can just like automatically like go, oh, well, I can visualize this or visualize that. I can visualize it. I know what it's going to look like. I'm just, still, you want to like kind of pull back and be like, does that aesthetic match that aesthetic? Which, because sometimes you can visualize it in your head and it doesn't actually like turn out as well. Like over here, like I was visualizing the brown would be like really super cool, like on beige. And then I like put it next to and I was like, actually, I like the green better. Because the brown looks in my head like it would do better, but it actually doesn't. I don't even know if that makes any sense. It doesn't because I don't know why. It just doesn't have the pop. You kind of want the pop, right? You want the pop. I don't know what I'm doing. I'll see you guys later. Trust me, I've got like stuff to do and things to wash, and I will probably put this aside for months because I actually have other secret projects that I have to work on. Do you guys want to see my other secret projects? Okay. I I don't think I can show you them completely just because um, I don't think I can, but because that would require like 3 hands, and I don't have 3 hands. Actually, it probably require 4 hands. But I will come down here and I will show you some secret projects that you can't tell anybody about. That's why I'm telling them at the end of this video. Are you ready? So, I am making my kids Christmas quilts. And this is the top. You can see. Yeah, it's got some threads. I really sewed this. So, that's why. This is a Christmas quilt that I made for one of my kids. And it's going to be huge. And it's going to have that pattern. I can't remember. It's like a dash. Something, churn dash? I think it's churn dash. Okay. And then, for my other kid, because, I've got lots of them. I'm kidding, I have 3. I'm making this one, which it's the same fabric, isn't it? It's Christmas. I know. This one is a pinwheel design. You see that? It's a pinwheel. That's what it's called. And then on the border, I have little mini pinwheels. That one doesn't show up as well as here. Here's a better one. Because it kind of is a little light there. But that's just because that's the inside of the snow globe. Anyway, it doesn't matter. Little pinwheels. Little pinwheels. Okay, so big pinwheels, little pinwheels. I know. So all along the border, I put these little pinwheels in. I know, you guys don't quilt, so whatever. This one I put, there's that, and then like here, I put like this little ribbon. Do you see that ribbon? And it's like striped with all the different fabrics. Do you know how much sewing that was? Okay. I'm just showing it to you because these are my secret projects. And then the last project, because I have 3 kids. Wait a minute. Let me find the last project. Is this one. And it's got pinwheels too, but it's got the little mini pinwheels. See? There we go. See? And then this one has more of a floral pattern on the side, where the other ones have white borders. So this one doesn't have like a fancy border. See, the other ones have fancy borders, and this one has more of a girly border. I wonder why. That's because I have a girl. So the boys have more just like Christmassy borders. And so for her quilt, this is going to be the back. It's not a Christmas pattern at all. There we go. Isn't that like just teenage girl angst? I don't know. She's going to outgrow it in like a day. But the front will be, well, the Christmas section will be very Christmassy, and she can take it out, or she could actually use it as like an everyday quilt if she wanted to, with her. I'm like, I don't even know if you guys can see that. Can you see that? Look. It's got glitter on it. See that? It's glitter fabric. Is that not like... Yes, it is. And then I have some other, like, I don't remember what I was doing for the backings of them, but there will be backings. And then I made a bunch of extra, just extra with all of the scraps. Just like random scrappy squares with all of the leftover fabrics that have no point whatsoever. Just as I was doing it, I used all the scraps to make some scrappy squares. So I could have a quilt, which is not assembled at the moment, to match theirs. Because I just thought, how cool would it be, like, for my kids to have, like, all matching quilts? Even though one of my kids does not live in the house with me. So, that's my secret project that I'm working on when my kids are not around, because they don't know this is happening. I don't know. I think it's awesome. It's an awesome quilt. It's going to be an awesome quilt. It's going to be very pretty. They're going to be pretty. But I've got to, you know, go and buy batting and put backings on them and actually finish them by Christmas. So, yeah. That's my secret project that I probably won't show you guys again. But I just wanted to show you that, like, I actually do make real quilts. I don't just, like, horribly repair ancient ones. I do understand the time and energy that it takes to put into a quilt. So that's why, like, when I see a quilt and it's being, like, gonna be thrown away, I'm like, you know what? I bet I can save it. Because I know somebody put their heart and their soul and energy and time into making something. And then how sad would it be if they didn't complete it? You know what I mean? And it just got thrown away. Because this got, like, somebody sat there and hand sewn and hand sewn and hand sewn all these little, you know, grandmother's garden pieces. And it would have just been thrown away. Because, I mean, it was on sale for $1 at a yard sale. The person was never going to finish it. They probably died. Because these is fabric from, like, the 70s and 60s. That's vintage fabric. I'm not trying to be morbid here. I'm just saying. You know. If I die, somebody finish my quilt projects. Please? Bye.